Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's lovely to see you all this evening and to be with you all this week. And with the thoughts of thanks on our minds from yesterday, I'm feeling very thankful and grateful to be here with all of you tonight. Joining me is, of course, Rabbi Lutz and Lisa Edwards on piano. There's a Rabbi Lisa Edwards in the community who I am a student of as well. So, but our wonderful Lisa Edwards on piano, and all of you and joining us online as well. It's such a joy to be able to celebrate Shabbat with you tonight. We'll begin with the words of Hine Tov Me'od in song together.
These words, there we go. These words come from the story of creation. They say, Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa v'hine tov mohod. And God saw all that had been created, and behold, it was very good. The beginning of the song goes like this. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa V'hine tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa V'hine tov me'od. Try that with me. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa V'hine tov me'od. Hebrew's a little hard, this part won't be. There was evening, there was morning. 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 Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa v'hine tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa v'hine tov me'od.
We now continue to welcome in Shabbat with light I invite up Leonard Seelig, who we are so grateful for all that help that you do every week in getting us ready for Shabbat. You can find the prayer on page 120.
Thank you. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words which you'll speak into our hearts and in our lives. Bless all those who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us through acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
I'll invite you, Leonard, to lift up our Kiddush cup as we turn the page to 123 to sanctify Shabbat together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'chata ve'tanu kidashta mikol Ami v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat lechayim.
Thank you, Leonard. We continue on page 138 with the words of the Hadodi, this piyut, this poem from the 16th century that we've been singing for many years to welcome in Shabbat. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Hadodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat lekabbalah. 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 Zachor v'dibur echad, ishmi'anu B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hi mekor habracha merosh miked nesucha. Soch ma'aseh b'machshavati la 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 hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hitoreri, Diva ore kumi uri, Daberi, Kavod Adonai, like la 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 hadoti, likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hadoti, likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Now turn and rise to welcome Shabbat.
Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi kala, la 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 lecha dodi, likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. La la hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela. Hadodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
Having welcomed in Shabbat, we now take a moment to greet and welcome one another to our sanctuary, and we welcome you online as well. We stay standing as we turn to page 146
C minor.
for the Barhu, our call to prayer.
Yai la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la la, yai la la la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated. We continue on the bottom of page 148 with our blessing Ma'ariv, our Avim, that blesses the coming of the evening. And whether they say thank you or not, many of our blessings are about recognition and appreciation for the workings of the world, for the blessings, the special moments of our lives. Let's recognize the turning of the day into night, as we read together on the bottom of 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Continue on page 151, the top, with a reading, thinking about love, God's love for us, the love that we have for each other as a community as well. As you taught Torah to those whose name I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. As we are commanded to listen, we rise together the words of the Shema, page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
We are seated as we turn the following page for the words of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Emet, that word that we end on, means truth. And on the following page, 156, words that we often don't highlight as much on Shabbat. We find additional moments of blessing and of thanks, moments that we recognize have happened in our people's past, the miracles that have been given to us. And as we turn the page again to 158, we sing the words of Michamocha, the words that we sang after passing the sea, these words of pure joy and thanks, being able to be brought out of Egypt and towards the promised land. We turn to page 160 as we sing together the words of Hashkivenu, one of my personal favorite prayers that ask God to grant us a Sukkot Shalom, a tabernacle, a shelter of peace over us. It's one that always brings me comfort, and this Shabbat, that's something I really can use, some comfort.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms again. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We now reach the Amidah, Ha Tefillah, as it's called by our rabbis, the prayer, the height of our service. It's a moment for us to have some silent reflection, to use the words of the prayer book as well as the words of our own heart, to speak whatever it is that is on our minds or on our souls this evening to God. Sometimes I like to go through each prayer. Sometimes I like to pick just one to focus on. I encourage you to do whatever moves you this evening as we rise on page 164.
Naisifai Tivtah Adonai Svatai Tivtah Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Adonai Svatai Tivtah Adonai Svatai Tivtah Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Continue with silent prayer.
יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי,
One E.
והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגורלי. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגורלי. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך.
We now take a moment to think of all of those in need of a prayer this evening. Up on the screen, you'll find some of the names we are thinking of tonight in this community. And I invite you now to share with us any other names that may be on your hearts of those in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. We sing these words of healing. El na rafana la. Moses said to Miriam, please God, heal us now.
El na rafana lanu. El na rafana lanu. I invite you to repeat after me. Dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith.
Help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
El la rafana lanu. El na rafana lanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength and body.
Help clarify our mind.
Help clarify our mind.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our light.
Rejuvenate our life.
El na rafana lanu. El na rafana lanu. El na rafana
In this week's Parsha, Vayetze, we find ourselves delving deeper into the narrative of Jacob. Jacob has fled from Isaac's house in fear of his brother Esau and toward his cousin Laban. On the way, he lays down to sleep, whereupon he has a dream in which angels go up and down a ladder, connecting earth to heaven. God then appears before Jacob and renews the covenant that God had made with his grandfather Abraham. Jacob awakes, anoints the place he slept, for it was where he saw God, and continues on toward Laban's home. When he arrives, he sees Rachel, Laban's daughter, tending sheep, and wishes to marry her. Laban agrees, so long as Jacob first works for Laban for 7 years. Jacob does his time. However, Laban then tricks Jacob into working for him another 7 years by sneaking Leah into the wedding tent rather than Rachel. For Leah being his eldest daughter, he wanted her to be married off before the younger. A week after Jacob marries Leah, he then gets to finally marry Rachel. They go on to work for 7 more years and live their lives. Jacob has many sons with Leah, as well as with 2 of the maidservants, Zilpah and Bilhah. But Rachel is unable to conceive until finally God blesses her, and she has 1 son, whose name she names Joseph. Because of Rachel's specially blessed child and how Leah comes about marrying Jacob, Leah is most often remembered as the slighted wife who didn't receive her due from Jacob, as compared with her beloved sister, Rachel. However, as Maharat Victoria Sutton teaches, Leah does not see her story as one of sorrow. She writes, Leah's enduring legacy is not a litany of would've, should've, could've. Rather, Leah's enduring legacy is her thankfulness, for which the Jewish people become later known. Maharat Sutton draws this from a verse in this week's Parsha, Genesis 29:35, which states, "This time I will give thanks, Odeh in Hebrew, to God. Therefore, she named him Yehuda, or Judah." This is after Leah gives birth to her 4th child. According to the rabbis of the Talmud, Leah's expression of thanks is not a minor moment the way we may often say thank you today. Rather, they claim, for the day the Holy One, blessed be, created the world, from then on, no one thanked the Holy One until Leah came and thanked God. Part of how the rabbis come to this conclusion is from the name that Leah chooses, Yehuda, or Judah, as we know it. The name comes from the root meaning thanks. And the word Jew, or Judaism, or Yehudim in Hebrew, derives itself from the name of Judah. Thus, as Maharat Sutton points out, Leah's expression of thanksgiving has become a trademark identity of the Jewish people. Rabbi Yitzhak Hutner explores the root of this trademark hoda'ah, this trademark's giving of thanks, in his writings on Hanukkah, the Jewish holiday of hoda'ah, of Thanksgiving. He writes, the name Yehudim, with which the entire nation is called, is an essence that they are constantly modi'im, thankful to God for God's kindness. For the mother who merited to create this name recognized that she got more than her share. The matter of Todah, of thanks due to the birth of Yehuda, includes within it also the concession that this was not coming to her by her right. Rashi, the French medieval commentator, also touches on Leah's thankfulness and that it is drawn from her sense of receiving more than she was meant to. He writes, in regards to this time I will thank, that Leah says, it means because I got more than my share, from now on I should give thanks. Rashi is drawing from a midrash that Leah believed it would be fair for her to be the mother of 3 tribes. That's because she knew through prophecy that there would be 12 in total, which meant that Leah, Rachel, Bilhah, and Zilpah could each have the same amount, 3. And so when Leah had a 4th child, she realized that she had been given more than her fair share, and she said a special thanks to God for that gift. As Maharat Sutton further teaches, Leah's recognition and concession that everything stems from the kindness of God at the birth of the 4th child, more children than she had anticipated, placed on the sages, freed Leah from keeping score to establish her rights in this marriage triangle, and thereby freed her to be filled with thanks. Maharat Sutton wrote this article in 2020 at the height of the pandemic, and so she ended with questions that surely felt relevant to that moment. However, had I not mentioned this, the questions could easily have been written for today. She asks, how do we manifest Thanksgiving during these times in which so much is beyond our control? What are the kindnesses, small and large, human and divine, that sustain us and for which we are grateful? How might giving in and recognizing that we cannot do it all on our own, that we rely on the hands of so many in our daily lives, shift our perspective toward thankfulness for all that we do receive? She answers her own questions by saying we are to take it simply day by day. We return to our liturgy. Our liturgy presents a helpful model of daily thanksgiving. The first blessing that we are told to recite upon waking is Modeh Ani, meaning I am thankful. And Hoda'ah is the concluding piece of our Amidah prayer, itself a prayer of thanksgiving. The daily liturgy reminds us of the importance of acknowledging that each and every day is something with which to be grateful and not to be taken for granted. Particularly in these times, the concession of indebtedness and gratitude to those who get us through each day is essential. Maharat Sutton, our early sages, Rashi, and Leah all teach us that giving thanks is something to be done every day, not simply on days in the Jewish or secular calendar, in which we are encouraged to particularly do so. But conceding this gratitude to others, particularly to ourselves, and amidst difficult times, can be challenging. This Shabbat, I encourage us all to ask ourselves, how can we live out the wisdom of our mother ancestor Leah? What are the ways in which we can be better about giving thanks every day for the blessings in our lives? And in an effort to think about those blessings and to offer that thanks, Rabbi Lutz and Lisa will lead us in this prayer and song of the words Modim Anachnu Lach, the words of that Hoda'ah prayer, which you can find on page 176. Thank you. There it is. Yes, and there will be a moment.
There we go. 176.
And there will be a moment where we will invite you all to share your words of thanks as well.
So we're going to join together in these words. Sheila should tell you what we're going to do here. It's very easy melody and words, and we're going to learn them, and then pause in between to invite you who would like to tell us what you're thankful for in this moment. There is another expression of thanks in this Torah portion, which I want to help to lead us into this moment. When Jacob wakes up from his dream, he says, indeed, God must have been in this place, and I didn't know. And it is his way of giving thanks for the experience he has just had in that moment. So as we gather here, I'll give you a chance to think for a moment about the things that you are grateful for on this Thanksgiving Shabbat. The melody goes like this. The words are right here in front of you. It goes, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Erev v'boker v'tzohorayim, Erev v'boker v'tzohorayim, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach. So we're going to pause here for a moment. Does anybody would like to stand up and share something or some things that they are grateful for this Shabbat? Your garden. Thank you. Lisa. Healing. Indeed. Michael.
I'm grateful to be alive at 85.
Let's join together. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach. Anybody else who would like to share something? Jane. Indeed. Leonard. As we are thankful you are here every Friday night. Sandy. Thank you. Let's try together one more time. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Erev v'boker v'tzohorayim, Erev v'boker v'tzohorayim, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach.
I'll now invite up member Dan Blatt to share with us some announcements.
I had to sub in because I didn't know I was on duty tonight. So, anyway, On behalf of the congregation and the Board of Trustees of Kol Ami, I want to welcome you and Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank our Rabbi, Barry Lutz, for leading tonight's service, along with rabbinic intern, Frankie Salzman, Lisa Edwards on piano, Travis Smith on audio, and Leonard Seelig, as always, for helping set up everything, and all of you for coming tonight. Join us next Friday, December 1st, as we observe World AIDS Day during our Shabbat service. We will celebrate and honor the strength, resilience, and diversity of the individuals and communities most affected by HIV/AIDS and the continued fight against it. We will also be exhibiting a panel from the AIDS Memorial Quilt. Our theme this year will be Remember and Commit. A community 12-step monthly meeting is forming. This will be a Jewish 12-step program for all programs, and will be on Zoom every month, currently scheduled for the first Thursday of the month from 6 to 7 p.m. The first meeting will be December 7th, which is also the first night of Hanukkah. The Zoom link will be provided with registration. Our next lunch bag assembly supporting the Hollywood Food Coalition will take place on December 9th at 12 p.m. in our sanctuary. Volunteers are needed, and it's a fun time while also helping the undernourished in Los Angeles. The next book circle will be meeting December 9th at 4 p.m., led by Jane Drucker. We will be reading All Night Pharmacy by Ruth Medievsky. We are excited to announce that the author will be joining us for the discussion. Saturday afternoon, December 9th, the men of Kol Ami are hosting a Hanukkah and Havdalah at the house of, it's my house. Wow. Oh, that's because they didn't know I was doing the announcements. That's why it says, if I hadn't been paying attention, I would have said the house of Daniel Blatt, and you'd have thought I was weird, but then I am weird. More details will be forthcoming if you're interested, talk to me after the service. But then again, there's something else that you can talk to me after the service. On Thursday, December 14th, the 8th night of Hanukkah, we will have a winter fundraiser, Music of the Menorah. Dinner and musical performances will be led by David Kaminsky. More information will come, and talk to Michael and I at the festively decorated Hanukkah table outside in the lobby afterwards. On Christmas Day, not Erev Christmas this year, join us and members of BCC for a traditional Chinese buffet dinner at King Buffet on Western Avenue. And I believe this is announced in the Torah, right? The Jews have Chinese, is it? Yeah, so it's in the Torah that Jews must eat Chinese food on Erev Christmas or on Christmas. The start time is 6 p.m. Please register so we know how many people to expect. All members, guests, and friends are invited for this important festive ritual. It's commanded, it's in the Torah. A B'nai Mitzvah class is now in formation. The class will be taught by Rabbi Robin Podolsky. Students will learn basic Hebrew reading and Torah chanting, Jewish texts and thinkers, and many more rituals. We're looking to begin in early December. More information can be found on our website. As always, we hope you'll keep up to date on all that is happening at Congregation Kol Ami by visiting our website. Thank you for joining us. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Dan, for filling in this evening. We will continue with our service with Aleinu on page 586. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'adeit gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpat ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arm around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. You can find the names of those in our community who are no longer with us that we are remembering this evening. Special names of those who are on out in memoriam here on our plaques in the synagogue, as well as other members of our community. I invite you now to rise and share a name of anyone that you're saying Kaddish for this evening. Please. Okay. Would you like to share the name? Thank you. We add to that any other names that may be on our hearts, as well as all those suffering from this tragic war and all those who don't have anyone to say Kaddish for them this evening. We rise together as a community on page 598. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei, Rabbah. Ve'alma divra hirte, ve'amli malhute. Ve'hayahon uv'yomechon, uv'haye de whole Beit Yisrael. V'agala uv'izman kariv ve'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olmei amaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brihu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zkronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated, and we can send you with words of peace and song. Oseh shalom.
We'll sing the words we just read at the end of Kaddish, a prayer for peace. Oseh shalom b'mromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav ya'aseh shalom
Yes, we will in a moment. First, before we join in Oneg, we will say the Motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. As we go off together into the rest of this Shabbat, I just want to say what I'm thankful for is this community. I feel so blessed to be able to be with you last year and continue through this year and continue learning and growing and being just in community together. And we rise, as is the tradition in these past weeks, as we say Hatikva, and we think the words we sing together, may the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us all and to all of Israel soon.
If it's on page 678, if you need.
Thank you.
678.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.